What's up, everybody? TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, sometimes Rumble, but not often. We back with another episode of Perry Necessary. Sir
That's us.
Darryl, what's the haps?
Nothing. I'm ready to watch some sisters and talk some Tyler Perry world.
I'm down. I think we're gonna be watching the new season. We on season 7, episode 2.
Yeah, and it's called Drunken Love.
Drunken Love. I like that.
Yeah, it's called Drunken Love. So we got to see what that's all about. Um, yeah. Is anybody in love? Ain't nobody in love on that show right now except for Zach and Fatima, right?
That's yeah. And
I guess the other
okay.
sisters are in like, because they're well, two of them. They're getting to know their
It, it,
dude.
it could be suddenly talking about Andy and Gary. They
Oh
I would
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I would call that's drunken love. So
yeah.
what do you think? What's your take on the new writing, the new writers, the new format? What's your take on that?
Well, I haven't seen episode two yet, so I'm going to be watching it for the first time tonight. Episode one blew me away, and I'm annoyed at people. I've been thinking about this over the last week. I think this is just a chip that I have on my shoulders about how bad the writing was before. And in my brain, even though every little thing didn't make sense, the episode had actual dialogue, which is one thing that's been missing for so long. And so it's been bothering me that people have been coming down so hard on the episode with the writing when, from my vantage point, they've been dealing with subpar writing for 6 seasons. And now they got some actual real writers on there and they're not actually giving it a chance. But what about you? What do you think? Because I think you got a pretty interesting take.
But you know what that's all about. My take is, had they slid the new writers in without saying anything,
Yeah.
90% of his audience wouldn't even notice. 90% of his audience they don't catch subtle things. They just know funny. And a
Mhm.
lot of them just like slapstick funny. And I can do both. I can catch subtle things. I love slapstick funny to a degree. But I think they put so much emphasis and hype on the new writers that it was kind of like, oh, here we go. They put a lot of pressure on the new
Yep.
writers, and now people will just wait. Like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same,
Yeah.
especially if you're a ride or die Tyler Perry fan. You gonna pick it to pieces. You're not gonna like it even before even they don't even know what they upset about. Some people like
Right. Yeah.
they just upset for no reason.
Yeah. You going into it saying, prove yourself to me. See, they
Hmm.
didn't prove themselves to me. Yeah. Going in with that attitude, forget about it.
And maybe Tyler Perry, maybe that's what he wanted. Like, see, I told y'all,
I
I told
remember,
y'all.
in fact, I think I could find it real quick if I tried. Tyler Perry talked about the reason that he won't have a writer's room. Let me just see if I can find it really quickly. And if what I'm thinking about happens, then he would have actually manifested this himself. All right, hold on. I'm going to pull this over. All right, check this out, yo.
Tell me why you don't have a writer's room, and would you ever consider creating a
I,
space
I
like that?
did have a writer's room about 10 years ago. I had the writer's room, and they were turning in scripts that weren't up to par for my audience. I've been working with this audience and cultivating for 25
Yeah.
years, so I know what they want. So I would have to pay them to write the scripts. When they turn into bad scripts, I got to pay them to rewrite the
Right.
scripts, and then I would go and rewrite the script, and then they go to WGA and they greet me and say he rewrote the script and pay me again. So it was just such an ugly situation. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to write because I know that my audience knows my voice.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking directly to them.
Mm-hmm.
So to that point, have and have nots is just returned Tuesday to #1 spot. The
Congrats.
Oval and Sistas on BET are both #1 and #2
You
on
actually got
Wednesday
folks
nights.
watching BET.
Yeah, I'm doing something right as far as
Yes.
writing it. But as far as other people wanting to have an opportunity, if I'm writing to my audience and I'm telling these kind of soap opera stories, they want to hear my voice. We have other programs in the studio that and shows in development where there will be a showrunner and writers, so those people can have an opportunity, so they don't have to hate on me just doing this. I wasn't doing it because I want to do it. I love doing it,
Yeah.
and my audience knows my voice, so
Yes.
I want to keep my ratings up, and I want it to work.
So he said all of that, and now he's going to be able to look back at this season and say, "See, this is exactly what I said."
But he's right. You know,
Yeah,
like
I'm
I
looking.
say, say it again.
I said, "You're right." I'm thinking that. I've been mocking that, but he's right the whole time.
You know what? Like, question. See, I don't know all. You know, I don't know all the intricate details when putting on a production, but he writes. But he does he always have a what do you call it? A producer that produces the show, or he
Well,
does, or was he doing that also?
he was directing
Yeah, I
production.
mean directing.
He was directing before,
Okay,
so
so okay,
so
okay.
last season he wrote, but he let
Wrote.
somebody else direct, or he let multiple people direct. The season before that, in all of the other shows, he writes and he directs, and he's the executive producer, which just
Okay.
means he started it and he makes all most of the money. But this last season, he gave up the directing chair. He just wrote. I'm sure he was there, but when it came on, they had other people directing. But it was all written by Tyler Perry, and now somebody else is writing it and somebody else is directing
Hmm. I don't know. Yeah, but like I said, he was right. And remember what I was saying before when we watched that first episode. I said I was nervous. I was nervous because I know how he knows his audience.
it.
He even said it, and I know how people are. You know.
Yeah, and all over the place. I've been seeing things. Hold on, I had something here from our group. Anthony said, "What have they done to Sisters? These last two episodes are awful." Well, I can't speak for tonight's episode because I haven't seen it yet, but
Me
I'm
either.
wondering, like, what are people talking about? It was just so much better to me. So Melissa in the comments said the acting is worse and the hair is worse in Karen's choice of clothing. I don't know about that. I don't really pay that much attention to their clothing or their hair, but in my opinion, the acting was way better. Somebody else behind that, Mertiz says, "You complain about Tyler's writing, and now you're complaining about the new writers. You people are never satisfied." To which someone
Facts.
replied, "Amen." Yeah. Um, Tyler, people, and let's not forget that we were constantly bombarded prior to this season with how the show drags, the dialogue sucks, everybody talks in circles. It was me who I started counting how many times are you said in an episode. Um, all of these things that people were commenting on, they're not happening now. But I guess since they can't put their finger on a thing, when Tyler's writing something, you can put your finger on a thing. With the new writers, they can't put their finger on a thing. They just say they don't like it.
Right, and why is that? If you can't articulate your disappointment in it, then what really is it?
Yeah.
Just the nostalgia of having Tyler Perry write. And to me, I really didn't have a problem with his writing. I was gonna blame who was directing, but you said he was directing also. I mean, and that was just the little, I thought the director kind of fine tunes the overall writing. You know what I mean? I thought he
Yeah.
can kind of switch the wording around. I'm not sure if that's true
No,
or
you're
not,
right
but
about that. Yeah, the director.
so I feel like the "Are you sure" could have been fixed easily. He writes the story, what they're supposed to be doing, and the director conveys his vision. You know?
However, in the Tyler Perry universe, this is my thinking. I don't know this for a fact 'cause I don't know anybody who's directed. But that seems to be such a staple in his writing that it's like a slap in the face to to your boss. He's not just
Yeah,
the writer. He's your boss. He's
yeah,
also your boss. To
yeah,
start
yeah,
yanking his arm. Oh, but what's worse? What if they did take away like 20% of the Are You Sures? And this is and what I started counting out was what was left. Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a slippery slope to go down.
yeah.
I'm suspecting that I'm going to like episode 2 as well, but we'll see.
Me too.
I want to ask you a couple questions about the Oval before we go any further, but I do want to play a video that Christian Key put out. So this was he was being interviewed someplace. First of all, I want to say he had been very, very quiet for a while and he didn't say anything. And I guess the second half of the latest season of All the Queen's Men is coming back. And
Yeah.
um, he had been really quiet. And then he just, sorry, I got to re add my source. Hold on 1 second. Share screen.
Hmm.
All right. So he posted this one little bit of an interview. And to me, this one little bit was just very, very telling because I saw the whole thing. So it's just whenever you see the whole thing, but then the artist or somebody who's in it decides to cut out one section of it. It wasn't a long talk, but just to cut out 1 second. In my opinion, he's desperately trying to make a point. Watch this, y'all.
How is it working on Tyler Perry's shows on BET, Saints and Sinners, and his new show that he has with Eve? How is those shows?
Actually, and just to respectfully correct you, that's my show. I created that.
That's dope.
I've been working on that for about 11 years. I put a book out called Ladies Night in 2014 and kept building this series. Got a bunch more no's and a couple maybes, and pitched him all the Queens. He has an amazing team. I call them the Avengers: Michelle, Elan, and Dee, and they build out and develop his scripted department. And I pitched it to them, and they loved it. They took it to him, and he was like, "Hey, I want this show. I want to buy the show." So I got the privilege of writing the bulk of the first season, not only just creating the show, but writing the first season, helping cast Eva, who is phenomenal. You know, she's saucy, she's killing it. The whole cast is amazing, and I got a chance to have a little input and opinions about who we cast, and we picked some great people, and I love the cast. I love where it's going. I'm excited, and it feels good as a black content creator to hire people that look like you and me. Feels real good. That's my favorite part.
How is it working
Let me
on
just stop this for a second. And well, I mean, it's over. So his wording to this was just to respectfully clarify things, journalists, and he put journalists in quotation marks. Please do your homework. Please make sure to give proper credit where it's due to the correct person who has had thousands of hours or over 13 years invested in creating, writing, and building something. Blah blah blah. I'm not mad at him for what any of this. I'm not mad at him for what he said, but it just seems interesting and telling that he took that little snippet and just posted it there as if to say, "This is mine." Like it's very uh, um, very much screaming, "I own the rights to this," or "I want the rights to this," or "I need to be given my proper due and my proper respect." And last thing, he mentioned how amazing Tyler Perry's team was. I thought that was
Yeah.
also rather telling to slide in that compliment about the team. Talk about the man twice without any kind of compliment. I just find all of that very interesting.
In the clip, didn't he say that Tyler Perry bought it or
Yes.
wanted? He did. He didn't say that he wanted to buy it. He said he purchased it, right?
He said he purchased it. I think that he misspoke, though. I think that what he
Huh.
purchased was the rights to um, season one and then
Okay.
the rights to season two. Unless that was some sort of an extra slip up. But that's the impression that he's been given that
Mm.
they have the rights for this, and that. And then he's got the right to renew or take it someplace else. That's the impression he's given anyway.
Mm. Do you think that would be a mistake if he tries to take it somewhere else?
Well, I didn't until last week when I talked to you about it, and you set me straight about how possibly that would be the worst move ever. Like, who's going to be interested?
That's what I'm thinking. Where's he gonna go with it? Where? you
And
know?
I was
You
thinking that
know?
it might be a great move on his part.
Fatima, when she says, "Do you know who my cousin is?" and Karen gonna be like, "Well, who's your cousin? She doesn't exist anymore."
Yeah,
Oh,
she's gone.
oh,
Oh, that would be really hysterical. Would Madam even be? That would be really
no,
weird for Madam to come back on there now.
she can't.
And uh, Hayden would be like, "What you gonna do now?" The next door neighbor. Who you gonna call? Madam gone.
Mhm.
That would be really funny if they played on that. Madam is over there on OWN.
Right. You probably can't even use her name no more. Can't even use
Yeah,
her likeness anymore.
yeah. That'd be something.
Yeah, I think he'd be a fool to do that.
And
Trying to salvage him.
it does seem to be somewhat of a hit. They probably want to just work. Tyler probably gonna stop showing up on set because he's the executive producer. In fact, Tyler was the director on a lot of those episodes of um of All the Queen's Men. I'm going to be very curious if season 4 comes out, if Tyler's name is listed on any directing credits anymore. Um, do you think that there is any chance he's not talking about Tyler Perry? Like, I think there's zero chance he's not talking about Tyler Perry. What do you think?
I mean, there's always a chance because I don't know his circle, but like I say, I don't know how many billionaires is in his circle that worked on that project.
It,
And a billionaire, they're not going to be one of the underlings. Um, I don't
it
know.
would
So
be
it has to.
an extra special kind of messed up if if he was talking about somebody else, because he just letting this hang out there and hang out there and hang out there. It's got to be something to his
Mm,
benefit there.
yeah, he's not
He could
clearing
put
it
this to
up.
rest immediately.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
like it's not like if he says it's not Tyler that we just got a second go to where it means, oh, automatically it's this person or that person. We would actually have to start guessing again if he was to come out and start saying if he said it wasn't Tyler. So saying that it's not Tyler doesn't incriminate anybody else. Not saying it's not Tyler, from my vantage point, just puts it square in that spot because it already fits.
So, do you think he got what he wanted?
Yes, I do. I do.
Hmm.
I think he's been nice and quiet, and I think that this thing has been uh, dealt with. I think that whatever it was he was trying to accomplish has been done, or
Hmm.
is very close to being done. He seems satisfied these days.
I think he. I'm just gonna say it one more time. If he tries to leave BT, I don't think he's gonna get no love nowhere else. That's what I think.
Not on All Black.
Not on what now?
All Black. That's a network.
Oh, what network is that?
It's, it's, you gotta,
Something basic. Something basic.
yeah, very well. You got it's a subscription network, but it's not. I can't even think of a show that comes on All Black.
What about what's that comes on regular analog TV? Bounce, is that still around?
Oh, he cannot. Yes, Bounce is still
Bounce,
around.
it'll be watered down. The budget is gonna be cut. Cut.
Yeah, okay. He absolutely cannot. Really quickly, TJ Johnson. I watched Sisters last night. It was good. Thank you. So answer me this: did you think the first one was good? First season 7, episode 1. Let me know if you thought that one was good, so we'll know whether or not the writers have converted somebody or just kind of kept them along.
Is our number up so people can call in? I want to hear from TJ.
Yeah, TJ, call us 704-937-1430. 704-937-1430. Call in and let's talk about it.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
hear what you thought of the first episode.
yeah, this is actually a good point.
Mm.
All right, let me go back to some of these things about the Oval until we get a call, or if we do. Where is it at? My notes are all over the place.
That's all right. So we like it.
what? This is crazy. Something crazy is going on over here on my computer. All right, Matthew did a post. He says, so what happened to the powerful general who had plans to bring the administration down and expose the corruption in the White House? He had Sam, Priscilla, Bobby, and Max on his team and in place. That was seasons ago. Haven't heard from him or any mention of him. And what about the all powerful puppet master, Victoria's father? I thought he was running the show. Why no mention of him? I'm going to go to the second part of that because I'm trying to even remember that first scenario he was talking about. Victoria's father. I don't know why Victoria's father got brought up in the way that he did. And he was just this major dude that had all of this power. And he was so mysterious. But then we got to meet him. He was lying there. He was on his deathbed, it seemed. Hunter gets shot at. Hunter thinks that it was an assassination attempt from Victoria's father. Hunter vows that he's gonna kill him, but like, but this war just never went anywhere. And again, that was seasons ago. I don't know what the point of bringing Victoria's father up was when we were just gonna just drop this whole thing.
Yeah, you know, they're big on that building up a character just to chat about. Like, remember with the Victoria's mom, I
Yes,
believe, and they were on a plane and stuff. I thought that was going to be like a major role, and she was going to be a major. She was real stern and she ended
and
up dying.
that voice was
Yeah.
great. I loved Victoria's mother. I was actually looking in my brain. I was seeing her seasons down the road and how she was the one.
Hmm.
She walked in and Victoria just changed. It was like, who is this woman? This woman turned into a little girl right in front of our face, and it was an
Hmm.
interesting thing. And she just gets killed off on an airplane.
Strange. You know.
Somebody mentioned that Gail, like what happened to Gail. I'm saying that Gail's been brought up a few times, unnecessarily so. I'm hoping that's indicative, and I don't think this is too far fetched. I'm hoping that that's indicative of them just sliding her back in for at least some sort of a cameo, some kind of a situation where we can see her and find out something that's been going on.
What would like? How would you justify? Where would she have been, and what
That's
would
what we're
she
gonna
talk
find out.
about?
That's what
But
we're gonna find out. Like I thought that they were gonna pop her up on Ruthless, because the mother, I remember very specifically, the mother was talking to Jason and she says, "You're going to go where your sister is, but on the men's side." And I'm like, "Oh, this is perfect. That means that you know, Ruthless. They're gonna interchange these things." I just really knew that was exactly where they were going to that. So the mother knew where Gail is. The mother and the father sent her there.
so,
So
do
that's
you
what we
think
would do.
she's there? But do you think she's there?
I don't know, but I'm saying it
And
would be
we
really cool to find out.
is she was she that interesting to you?
No, but I still want
No.
to like I think that that could be interesting. Like, what the hell happened to her?
Mm, I, I don't know. She was kind of interesting on the oval because she was kind of like the rebellious one, and the mother couldn't stand her. And Jason, he was just kind of back then. He was kind of mute. He was kind of quiet. Like the mother actually liked him because he obeyed from what I saw initially. But after the daughter, this after Gail disappeared, he just went crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Or we find out how crazy he was because he had already killed somebody prior to
Uh
coming
huh.
to the wedding. Yeah,
Yeah, but he was a little more laid back with it though. Nah.
yeah. He just masturbated himself all the time. They had
Oh,
that
he
one
was just.
scene where he masturbated himself in front of the in front of the and she
Mm,
just got
yeah,
sprayed. And that was so, it was so outlandish to me that that happened. Like, that's a BET plus move from my vantage point. I couldn't even believe that that just got played on regular BET, but that's when I knew. that Tyler had tipped over the tipping point that, from my vantage point, explained why he wasn't on OWN anymore. Because Oprah was not gonna have that. Oprah didn't want you saying the word nigger on OWN. Like that was a thing for her. It didn't get said. The moment Tyler got out of those restraints, that word is tossed around like crazy. All right, so
Hmm.
I did see a post where they talked about both Gail and the mother, or Gail's grandmother. We talked about that. Uh, all right, I think that's all of the things that I wanted to go over before we start watching Sisters season 7, episode 2, Drunken Love. I'm
I'm ready.
expecting to like this. I'm hoping that I'm going to like it. Anything you want to say before we get into it?
No, I'm ready to see because I've been waiting. I haven't seen it, so I'm ready to get into it.
All right, let's go. Oh, people who are on YouTube, you can't
Oh.
join us in this. I'm sorry. Um, Jeffrey has ruled with an iron fist here. He will not allow me to play this on YouTube. But I did put the link to the Facebook group inside of the description. So if you're watching us live right now on YouTube, live that is, if you're watching us live on YouTube, head on over there. If you're watching the replay on the YouTube, by the time you see the full episode of this, Jeffrey will have fixed it so that you can watch it. So just hang on.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
But for
log on
now,
Facebook
we're going to say
so I can accept.
bye to YouTube.